Most of us work for a living. Those of us who are fortunate enough to have the ability to work, but unfortunate enough not to be sitting on a pile of gold, have to go to work each and every day. We either work for ourselves or we answer to someone else, but we all work for the same reasons: to earn a living, to provide for our families, and to improve the quality of life for ourselves and our loved ones. There are countless types of jobs in the modern workplace. Some people file papers, others put out fires. Some people work with explosives, while others blow up party balloons for a living. Our modern workforce consists of test pilots, doctors, dog walkers, and bricklayers. Whether you're saving lives, living on the edge, or simply counting peanuts, we all have the same goal at the end of the day. We all want to go home in the same condition we were in when we arrived at work. We want to make a living, so there's little room for dying on the job. Unfortunately, an average of 13 workers were killed on the job every day in 2011, according to data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's almost 5,000 people who went to work but did not make it home. It'd be unreasonable to assume that none of them intended for that to happen. Many people have the tendency to adopt the common, and often fallible, philosophy that they won't fall victim to an accident in the workplace. Too often we think, "It won't happen to me." It's this type of thinking that can get us into a lot of trouble at work, though. No matter what you do, no matter where you work, there is always a chance that something unfortunate could happen. It's only by focusing on working safely that we can minimize the chances of getting hurt on the job. It doesn't really matter what we do as much as how we do it. Working safely is a conscious choice, one we're all faced with every time we head off to our job. The most obvious reason we all must choose to work safely is the fact that no one likes to get hurt. After all, when is the last time you woke up and decided that you'd like to go endure severe pain and discomfort at work? Who expects to lose a limb or an eye on the job? Very few people knowingly put themselves in situations of excess risk at work. After all, common sense tells us that we should work safely for no other reason than our own self-preservation. There is another reason, however, for us to stay focused on safety at work: money. Not even our own money, although getting injured can prevent us from making a great living. I'm talking about our employer's money. One could argue that they don't really care how much money their employer has, as long as they continue to get that bi-weekly paycheck. But it does matter, and workplace injuries have a major impact on the bottom lines of companies everywhere. According to the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, an agency created by Congress in 1970 to assure safer working conditions for American workers, it has been estimated that employers pay almost $1 billion per week for direct workers' compensation costs alone. $1 billion a week! This doesn't include lost productivity, repairs for damaged property, or the expenses contributed to accidental investigation and corrective actions. This $1 billion per week goes straight to medical expenses, compensation payments, and the cost of legal services. $1 billion per week could create a lot of new jobs and drastically improve the quality of our working environments. Every time we proactively avoid a safety incident at work, we help to hamper these burgeoning costs for our employers. In our sluggish economy, with high unemployment rates and a constant push for efficiency, it's easy to see how important it is to each of us to do our part to reduce these costs. Employers recognize the value of spending scarce resources on workplace safety. According to the American Society of Safety Engineers, a recent Liberty Mutual poll of business executives found that companies save at least $3 for every dollar they invest in workplace safety programs. These programs include safety awareness training, engineering controls, the purchase of personnel protective equipment, and many other methods of keeping employees safe. While the initial investment to implement a new safety program may be somewhat hefty for struggling companies, leaders are recognizing that these investments pay off in dividends. The director of the European Agency for Safety and Health at Work summed it up well by stating that spending on workplace health and safety should be seen as an investment and not as a cost. Most companies are doing their best to do their part in keeping us safe, But it is ultimately our responsibility to watch out for ourselves and our coworkers. A company could spend $1 million on a new safety strategy, but the money would be wasted if employees fail to make a conscious choice to work safely. Part of working safely entails looking out for others in addition to yourself. Many companies have been promoting a safety culture in which employees make it a daily habit to help keep one another safe. The brother's keeper mentality has found some success across American companies, and it can be contagious. My own employer adopted this philosophy almost 3 years ago, and it has really caught on. Employees have become comfortable enough with the idea that they do not feel criticized when others bring potential safety issues to their attention, even if the issue is related to their own behavior. So, what have we covered today? We all know why we get up every morning and head off to work. We put so much effort into our jobs so we can provide for ourselves and our families. We don't plan to get hurt and contribute to the enormous expense incurred by our employers every year. And none of us ever plan to become one of the 13 people who will lose their life at work every day. The key is to work safe, watch out for yourself and your coworkers, and make it home every day in the same condition as you were when you left for work. Best wishes, and keep safe.